We'll be wrapping with Gene Pastula here, certified financial planner. We're talking about the different retirement risks and the fact that Gene's area of specialization is in the decumulation. It's not so much about rate of return when you're retiring. It's about how much income can I get, how safe and stable is that income, and how long will it last, rather than rate of return. Because clearly, if you retire and your timing is wrong, you were born on the wrong date, and you suffer that 50, 60% decline that we know is going to happen, we just don't know when, and that's early in retirement, it's dead. You're dead meat. It's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to retire comfortably. And what Gene is here to try to convince you to do is take advantage of the research that's been done by academics from all around the world and purchase an annuity, postpone taking your Social Security, work a couple of extra years, make sure you have emergency funds stashed away. Don't put all your money in annuities. Have some money, of course, in the stock market, but allow the stock market enough time to do what we know it's done, which is over long time periods, it goes up 7, 8, 9, 10, 11% per year on a compounded basis. So back to the annuities, which get horrible raps because the money managers want that money. See, that's what this is really all about, isn't it?
Well, it's certainly a big part of it. That's right. And that's what, that's what sets the conversation and what have you. I would add to what you just said, because listening to what you're saying, it's like, all right, I'm 62 years old or 65 years old or whatever, and I'm setting up my portfolio to do the best job for my retirement, et cetera. But you know what? The area where it starts to become even more obvious how great these things are for people who maybe now have been in retirement for several years. They're in their, let's say, mid-70s, and it's getting tight. The inflation has taken its toll. Maybe they would have gone through a big downturn at the beginning of their retirement, most likely, if they're that age. They're wishing that this portfolio would give them more money every month, but their advisor or their just common sense says, if I take any more money than I'm getting right now, I'm putting my longevity protection at risk, et cetera, and it's a real dilemma. It's amazing, when we're talking to individuals in their middle 60s, we're showing them how, in many cases, they can receive an income equal to 5.5% or 6% of the money that they give to an insurance company to generate lifetime income, right from the get-go.
Well, so somebody puts $200,000 in, they can get $1,000 a month
exactly,
for the rest of their life.
$1,000 a month for the rest of their life.
And it could be joint life, and there could have inflation components and all that.
And each one adjusts it a little bit, but that's the idea. Whereas the financial planner, if he's a reputable financial planner, is going to say, you know what, we can set up a portfolio that'll last as long as you do, or has a 90% chance of lasting as long as you do, is the way they typically will put it. But we can only give you 3.5% of your income every year. So now you're almost doubling it by using an annuity for part of the money at least. But when you get to be 75 or 76 and what have you, and you're looking to do better than 3% on your portfolio, you look at the annuities and what they're doing, and oh my goodness, it's 6.5%, 7%. That of the amount that you give them, that you receive in the form of income for life. And if you're in your 80s, it's 7, 7.5, 8. So the value of these things as you go along can be very impressive. I've been working with somebody who over the years, who every now and then will take an extra $100,000 or $150,000 from his portfolio that's been in the market and what have you in a more conventional way, and he buys a fixed annuity with it. And then 6, 7 years later, he buys another fixed annuity with it, and he gets these big bumps in income if he needs them, and he knows that that potential is always there.
You know, this has been studied by the researchers. As you know, I've quoted it many, many times. But in reality, by doing, in essence, what Gene is talking about, it gives you the ability to tweak your portfolio so that it's more aggressive. You're using what Wade Pfau calls actuarial bonds. In fact, he has said bonds don't even belong in your retirement portfolio, but there's literally trillions of dollars sitting in bonds and retirement portfolios. He's saying use actuarial bonds, kick up the rest of your portfolio a notch, and two things will happen. One is you'll have a higher, longer inflation-adjusted income. You'll live happier and healthier. That's a proven statistical fact. And depending on how long you live, you'll leave your heirs richer than they would have been left had you not done it. All of the things that I used to worry about, because it used to be, well, yeah, if you put your money in an annuity, you're kind of screwing the kids. If you do it right, if you do it the way the researchers tell you to do it, add the longevity protection, and then kick up a notch the rest of your portfolio using the so-called actuarial bond concept, you end up leaving your heirs richer than they would have been. And that, to me, is a really exciting part of planning.
The other thing is that the less stress you have in retirement, the healthier you are in retirement, and the longer you live happily in retirement. There's no question about that. So, and I've stressed on this program, many, many times that I'm all for having the least amount of stress in my life at this point. And one of those is, I'm a news junkie. I mean, I love to watch or listen to the news on a most daily basis because it's stories that you can't make up. I mean,
that's for sure.
But they come fast and furious in a relatively negative manner. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to be, concerned and what have you. But if you're financially in a situation where you know that paycheck is coming in from Social Security, that paycheck is coming in from your annuity, which is your personal pension plan, your personal Social Security plan, if you will, and you have those together with maybe a pension or whatever else, and then whatever's left in your portfolio. We talk a lot about people who have, we usually take $1 million or whatever, but there's tons of people out there who have half that amount or even less. That they don't need a ton of money, but they need to get as much income as they can out of that without any risk.
Well, a person that has $1 million probably has some margin for error. Mm-hmm. A person with $250,000 doesn't.
Not much, that's right. And so, you can take a little bit more risk, or you can sustain yourself through a downturn in the market. If you're starting out with $1 million in your portfolio before that happens, but if you've got $250,000 or $300,000 in your portfolio, that's you can't take a lot of risk on that, and you can sure sleep better at night if a substantial portion of that is generating a lifetime guaranteed income.
So there are really two concepts here. There's what we call the safety first approach, where you manage the risk of making sure that you have enough money to cover your essential expenses in retirement. Whatever the essential ones are, your rent, your health care, your food, and so forth. And then the balance can be handled by stocks and bonds and other fluctuating assets like real estate and so forth. And then there's the probability-based, which is really the old-fashioned pie chart and a systematic withdrawal, which virtually everyone today that's in the know in retirement planning is saying, that will work, and it might work most of the time, but there's really no assurance that it will work for you. And if you want an assurance that a plan will work for you, then you want to go to safemoneymonitor.com and talk to my buddy here, Gene Pastula. He doesn't bite, by the way. I don't think. Do you still bite?
No.
No.
I haven't bitten in years.
In years, okay. SafeMoneyMonitor.com, 800-809-6783. Adopt a safety-first approach. You'll live happier, you'll live healthier, because you're annuitized. Gene, thank you so much, my friend.
You're welcome.
Talk to you soon.
Yes.
SafeMoneyMonitor.com. Write that on your hand and check it out later on, or just call 800-809-6783.